This is a little military eagle pin. Get closer here. It's just an eagle with a crest holding some olive leaves and an arrow. It's probably vintage. I don't think it's World War II, but I don't know. I'm not an expert in military stuff, but I do find these at auction and I like to pick them up because people buy them. This one here is marked sterling. I'm kind of dubious because it's so shiny, unless there's some sort of coating that keeps it shiny like that, because usually silver will just tarnish pretty quickly and there's no evidence whatsoever of tarnish on this. But I put this up for 20 bucks and it sold for 20 bucks. This is a set of 9 antique carved wood decorative kind of architectural wooden blocks. These probably belong to some furniture and were salvaged at some point. They're pretty cool. These are probably Victorian era is my guess, or maybe even earlier. They're almost kind of a primitive chunky carving on there. I put these up for $50 for the whole set, and I ended up taking a best offer of $35, which I thought was reasonable. And I picked these up at an auction in a box lot of kind of similar carved wooden pieces, like furniture pieces and draw poles and hinges, old Victorian lantern hanger and some other kind of random stuff and all that kind of things, stuff like that. People are always looking for that stuff for their old homes or for restoration projects. So I find it sells really well and I can get it really cheap at local auctions. This is a vintage yellow gold satin bead ball necklace. This is 14 karat gold. It's got these great little satin beads and then smaller little shiny beads. This is all gold. Got this at an auction in a tray lot of some really nice jewelry that was all kind of from the Art Deco period. There was some coral bead stuff in there. There was some crystal. There was some more other gold pieces. And this was kind of the most valuable piece. I didn't realize it at the time that it was actually real gold because it was kind of deceiving. This kind of satin finish kind of made it look cheaper to me than it really was. But it tested out as real gold. It's marked on the clasp here. And it's an interesting piece. And I put it up for $4.79. I've had it up for quite a while, and I got some offers from the same person. Kept offering about $300. I kicked back $375, and they would just kind of disappear. Then come back a couple weeks later, and do the same offer, and finally I gave in, and we settled at $310. So off it goes to them for $310. I think it's a good price for me to get, a good buy for them, and I think we'll both be happy with it. Some more advertising, antique advertising, copper on wood print blocks sold. These I sold as a set, all three. They're all kind of related in a way. This is just kind of an old-timey sled. There's no maker's mark that I could find on it. Just a very cool piece. It's copper, and the base mounting block is wood. The other two smaller ones appear to be some sort of ice skate runners of some sort. At least that's what I call them. And there is an advertising company name on these, but I couldn't quite make it out. It's something and Berry, it looks like. Anyway, these three, I put them up as a set, and they sold for $30. Here's a couple of medals that sold. These were listed separately, and the same person came in and bought both of them. These are a Masonic Metal. This is a past president medal. These are both vintage. They're Digest and Clasp out of New York, which is a kind of an old, they commonly made a lot of medals back in the olden days. This one is enamel and brass, or enamel and bronze. It's Heroes 76. Same maker mark on this one. Not too fancy, just regular metal. Sometimes these can be gold, but these are not. And these were listed for $18.95 each, and the person bought both of them. This is an antique wooden Machinist toolbox. It's a very nice piece. It's in a tiger oak. Got a leather handle on the top. Opening it up, it has a nice brass or copper work surface on the inside, which I'm guessing was added because I don't think these usually have this in it, but it was a nice feature. And it's got a lot of nice little drawers. They're all felt bottomed for your tools or parts. This one here actually came with the key, which is pretty unusual. Usually the keys are long gone. It's overall a very nice piece. It's got some stains and wear to it, but structurally very sound. Picked this up at an auction for $120. It was a bit more than I wanted to pay, but I knew it was a valuable piece and that someone would want it. And I put it up online for $6.99. It's been up for probably about 5 months now. And I had a lot of watchers on it. Somebody contacted me and told me what it is. And I found out it was a Gerstner style 31A. So I was able to add that to the listing, which I'm sure helped sell it when people know what it is. And they were very nice to provide that information. And last night I got an offer of $500 for this, and I was glad to take it. This is another jewelry lot item that I picked up at auction. Came in a big box of costume jewelry. This is the kind of thing you like to find. This is a real diamond ring. This is the first diamond ring I believe I've found. Tested and confirmed, and also I checked the brand on this. It's got a name on it somewhere. It's Tino. It's a men's ring company. They make kind of these trendy rings out of stainless steel and then adorn them with diamonds. This doesn't have a ton of diamonds. It's like 0.128 carat. There's 16 little teeny tiny diamonds in there, and they're all accounted for. The ring's kind of scratched up. They originally sold this ring for around $800 on their website. It was marked down to $280 more recently, or $180. I mean, they were practically giving it away. I put this up for $124.95. It's been up probably for 6 to 8 months. Got watchers, but no offers. Somebody made an offer last night of $100 as I was asleep. Then they came back and changed their mind and decided to buy it full price. So don't quite know what they were thinking, but they didn't have much feedback, so I'm guessing they really don't understand the buy now, best offer procedure. And I find that is often the case. A lot of people who do pay full price have little to no feedback. They're just kind of occasional eBay people, and they don't really know the protocol on that. So anyways, glad to get full price for it. I would have happily taken far less for it because it's not really that desirable of a ring. But it's kind of fun to pull diamonds every once in a while from those auction box lots of jewelry. So this was kind of cool, and I'm glad that it sold. This is a little camping mini espresso maker. I saw that at a church tag sale this past weekend, and I picked it up for I think 50 cents. Had a bunch of things, and they kind of just worked out a deal, and I probably paid all of $5 for a big bag worth of stuff I got. Kind of a neat piece. I thought somebody would like it, and didn't quite know exactly what it was when I got it, so I had to do a little bit of research. I knew it was something camping and coffee related. And they don't go for a lot, but this one here I sold for $19.95. This is a vintage Drew Holland enamel cast iron pot. It's in the blue tulip design. These are very cool. It's this is cast iron, enameled cast iron, and the lid is not. It's more of a pressed enameled steel. And these are pretty sought after. They're not as desirable as some other enameled cast iron pieces. I got this at a box slot and at a walk around auction. There was a big box of dance Coben style stuff, and that's what I was eyeing, and I bought that and sold that. And these other pieces were in there too, and they seemed quality, so I looked them up, and they definitely were had some value to them, so I listed them as well. This one here was probably the roughest one of them all. It's got kind of a lot of staining in the bottom, some chips. The lid here is missing some of the enamel, so I wasn't able to put this up for what it's really worth. So I put this up for $19.95, and it does weigh a ton, so shipping was kind of expensive. So I knew it would be a bit of a tough sale, but somebody did come in and buy it. It's getting shipped to Texas, and they paid $19.95 for it, and then another $22.40 to ship it off to Texas. So I guess they really like it. This is a antique matched pair of turned wood furniture finials. These might have gone on an old clock or an Empire mirror or something. Who knows? They're pretty old. They're in great condition. People are always looking for this kind of stuff for restoration projects. And I got these in a tray lot at an auction with a bunch of old Victorian hardware and other wooden pieces similar to these, furniture pieces. And again, these are always in demand, and not a ton of money, but if you get them cheap enough, they sell well. So I think I paid maybe $5 for that tray lot, and this is probably the fourth thing I've sold from that. And these sold for $18.95. Yet another jewelry piece. This is a faux pearl beaded choker. It's a nice piece. It came in a lot with a bunch of kind of Art Deco stuff from 20s and 30s, but I don't think this piece is quite that old, although it could be. Has a made in Japan label on the back here. And the beads, the pearls are definitely fake pearls. They're coated, and I could see that the coating was flaking off when I looked at it under a loop, so I did disclose that. But it's still a nice piece, and I put it up for $24.95. I did not do best offer. And it's been up for about 8 months, and it just finally sold. Okay, yet another piece from a jewelry lot. This is a little gold pin. It says, if it focuses there, it says LBJ. It's a little cowboy hat. I believe it's for Lyndon B. Johnson. So it's a political pin, definitely vintage. And got this in a recent jewelry lot that I purchased. Didn't have a lot of great stuff in it, but some interesting pieces nonetheless. I would have thought this would get more, being that it's kind of historical, political, and vintage, but I guess these are pretty common, and I saw pretty much people selling these for as low as $5.95 or so. I got $11.95 for this one. This is a woman's Movado museum watch. It's got a silver bezel. These come in both silver and gold. Pretty common watch, not really worth a ton. I put it up for 120 or 129, I can't remember. And I ended up taking a best offer of 70, which is a bit lower than I wanted, but this one here has some scratches across the face. It does work, and I put a new battery in it. And, it's a nice watch. The band's still in good shape. It is Movado, which is a good brand. It doesn't make a ticking noise, which is weird. So when I put the battery in, I couldn't tell if it worked until I kind of set the time and waited. But it does work. And I got this in the bottom of a costume jewelry lot. So this was kind of a nice piece to pull out of there. Every once in a while you do find nice watches when you buy those jewelry lots at auction. And the place where I buy my jewelry, they just throw it all into one of those big banana crates, those banana boxes. And there's always something good in the bottom of them. If you can get them for a good price, you pretty much are guaranteed to make your money back, I find, at least the place where I buy mine. This is another piece of jewelry. Came out of a jewelry lot, and possibly the same one that the watch came from. This is a little Art Deco filigree clasp, and it is 10 karat gold. So it's not just a cheap one. It's definitely vintage and / antique, probably from the Art Deco period. It probably was a pearl necklace or something at one point. Just found it in the bottom of the box, and rather than throw it away or try to group it with others, I decided just to list it separate. So I had a price of $13.95 on this, and the person paid full price. I didn't bother doing best offer. This is an antique cast iron sad iron or flat iron. They're called sad not because they were sad, but sad was the old English term that meant solid. So this is solid cast iron. It's quite heavy. It weighs about 7 pounds. It's a number 7. So I don't know if these were based upon the weight that they numbered them. This has a little star insignia here. It's pretty rough, but got a nice flat bottom. I can't believe these actually sell, because I come across these all the time and I always pass them over because I just can't stand them, really, because they're so common. But this one came in the bottom of a box lot, basically, and I already have one in my house as a doorstop, so I figured I'd just list this one. I put up for $18.95, and somebody bought it. This is a VFW, or Veteran of Foreign Wars, collar pin. It's brass. I think it's vintage. It came from a lot of kind of World War II pins from a veteran that I got at an auction. Find these small little pins there. They sell really well. They don't sell for much, but they're just kind of a good pipeline item. Get a bunch of them, easy to list. They sell well and they're easy to ship. This one here sold for $11. This is a 4-ounce bottle of black suede cologne, I believe it is, or aftershave. It's by Avon. It's vintage. It's nothing special. It sold for $12.95. I picked it up at a kind of a barn sale. Some lady had just a whole bunch. I think she wanted to start an antique store but never did. And she just had a barn full of junk that she had collected, and she was basically giving it away. So I paid next to nothing for this and a bunch of other vintage Avon colognes. But what does make this special is it was my first Bonanza sale. I just set up a Bonanza shop about a week ago and imported in all my items, and this has been sitting in my eBay store for probably 2 years now, and maybe even longer, and it's never sold. I got any interest, and within a week on Bonanza it sold. So that's pretty great. It's nice to have multiple platforms that are kind of pushing your products out the door. This is another vintage pressed glass ornament, window hanger, sun catcher, whatever you want to call it. This one's of Thistle. It's a nice kind of aquamarine glass. And this one here sold for $12.95. An old book sold. This is Tom Swift and his motorcycle. It's a fiction book aimed at young readers. It's from 1910. It's in good shape. It's got the owner's nameplate in it. But other than that, it's got some wear, but not too bad shape for given its age. And I picked up a bunch of these at auction. Pretty much, I'd say, close to the whole series. And I forget what I paid for it. It wasn't much. I got several other boxes of books with it as well. Thought about listing it all as a whole set and just selling it, but there really wasn't much money in it that way. So I decided to part them out and list them individually. So this one here sold for $23. It tends to be the more desirable edition. The other ones are listed from anywhere from $18 to $22 or so, and they're kind of a slow and steady seller. Not a ton of money again, but it just goes in the pipeline and comes out the other side. These are 5 tribute proof coins. They're basically, I think it's called a Double Eagle or St. Gaudens $20 Double Eagle coin. They're a replica basically of a really expensive coin. It says here, America's most valuable coin, 1933 $20 gold. And apparently one of these sold for some ridiculous amount of money at some point. I forget what it says here. $7.2 million, highest price ever paid. So these are just basically replicas. I think they are 24 karat gold, electroplated or whatever. Clad, I think they call it. Anyways, I don't sell a lot of coins. It's not really my thing, but I got these in a box lot. And they're just in the bottom, and I think there was 7 of them. I've sold a few of them, and the rest of these sold all to one person through Bonanza. So it's my second Bonanza sale this week, which has been great. And they're not a lot for these. I got $13.95 each, so they paid $69.75 for all of them here. So one more thing on these coins. Just found out, I think it was this past week, I was going on vacation. I needed to bulk edit some listings, and these were in violation of eBay's selling policy. There was a little red exclamation point when I tried to bulk edit. And I looked at the fine print and basically said you can't sell replica and copy coins on eBay. And I thought that was very odd. They never pulled it down. I never got an email about it. It was only when I went in to bulk edit them. And they wouldn't let me bulk edit and save them, but they still allowed me to continue to have that listing up. So I'm not really sure the reason why. Maybe people are buying these and trying to pass them off as real or something. I have no idea. But there's tons of people selling replica coins all over eBay. So apparently they don't really enforce it.